Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks bringing you your daily Nvidia report for Thursday, May 1st, 2025. Let's take a look at the charts. I'll start with the big picture, work my way into the day itself. 111.64, former 9-month channel bottom. We closed below about 5 weeks ago. We've retested a number of times since then, even closed just above it about 3 weeks ago, but inside the 1% zone. 111.64 is our ceiling of resistance. I show 111.47 here because the daily chart version is that number, 111.47. In fact, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit and show 111.47 and 112.85 are converging. And I've had a shift of perspective. In other words, I see this area, 111.47 to 112.85, 3-month descending channel top, and the former 8-month, 9-month channel bottom as our key overhead resistance. I've been saying that for a number of weeks. What I have been saying is that if we close above 112.85, we're not really out of the woods. We should see the mid to upper 120s within 2 to 3 weeks, which would, if settled above, present our buy signal into later year. But the way I see it now, especially when you take a look at the triple Q, the NASDAQ 100 ETF, which we analyze on a daily basis, it's also actually yet to actually retrace back to its 9-month former channel bottom, whereas Nvidia has been doing it quite a bit the last 4 or 5 weeks. And there's a 5/8 upside Fibonacci at 487.93. This area is narrowing weekly. It will all come together in 2 weeks, but for the time being, if the triple Q can close the week Friday above 487.93, I see a meaningful buy signal through the month of May, 3 to 5 week rally back to the February all-time high. And that's what I'm seeing with the triple Q. And if that does occur, in other words, if we close above 487.93 in the triple Q this week, I think there's a very good chance that that Nvidia will also have closed above this 111.47 to 112.85 area, in which case I see that as also a 3 to 5 week buy signal and then some. So yes, I still think that the mid to upper 120s is your immediate objective, but in terms of the big picture, in terms of, really kind of into later year, if we close above the 111.47, 112.85 area, I think you've got a pretty decent buy signal into the third quarter. Yes, the upper 120s, mid 120s in reach within 2 to 3 weeks, but I think under this scenario, we could see the 150s again within about 3 to 5 months of closing above 112.85. This is a weekly level. The daily level is, once again, 111.47, and then you can see it along with the 3-month channel top at 112.85. So what to do? You can sell Nvidia in the 111.47 to 112.85 area, anticipating bearish rotation. I've got different time frames here. Bearish rotation within a week or so, 3 to 5 days, back to 99 even, and within 2 to 3 weeks, back to 92.87, and within a couple of months, as I mentioned earlier, I think, over the next 1 to 2 months, the low 80s remain in reach above the low 110s, the low 180s, the low 80s rather remain in reach over the next couple of months. 2-year trend remains bullish, actually, above 80.75. So solid bottom picking opportunity in the low 80s if given the opportunity. And holding continued weekly settlements below the 111.47, 112.85 area. We'll keep that zone in reach by the end of June. Working our way down over the next couple of weeks, I have 92.67. We're not going to see that today. But what we do have is still the low of the high. Now, we opened below that 105.73 level on Wednesday, and then came roaring back later in the day to close clearly above it, which leads me to believe that we are likely to test, possibly today, that 111.47 channel top in combination with the descending channel top at 112.85. I mean the 111.47 channel bottom. So I think this area is in reach today. I think it's likely to be tested, and it can contain buying through the month of May. So whether you're a 3 to 5 day swing trader, then playing the short side down to 99 even, a 2 to 3 week swing trader playing the short side down to 92.67, or a 1 to 2 month swing trader, if you will, back into the lower 80s. That is all true below 111.47 to 112.85. But if we close today above 112.85, I see no good reason to stay short Nvidia in just about all time frames. In fact, you want to go long over the 2 to 3 week time frame into the mid to upper 120s, this 124.73 descending 2/3 speed line. would be like a 2 to 3 week target. We could top out here through the rest of May and even fall back into the 110s, perhaps within several weeks. But over time, I just think, especially when you take a look at the triple Q, and Nvidia is a significant part of the triple Q. If the triple Q closes above 487.93 on Friday, and after all, this is the NASDAQ 100, right? Then I see continued gains for the NASDAQ 100 through May. And that being the case, it's hard to imagine Nvidia selling off through May. I actually see it sustaining a decent rally. So we'll cover this on a day-by-day basis, of course. You know, speaking of the triple Q, by the way, we provide this on a daily basis at wickedstocks.com. I think it's good information for you to have at your disposal. If you're an active NVIDIA day trader or Tesla day trader or a swing trader, I think you really should have the triple Q in your toolbox, along with the daily SPY. We do both of them at wickedstocks.com. We also put out a couple of stock picks every week. This week, we've done one on DoorDash and Rubrik in video format. We give you detailed instructions, detailed buy signals that you can act on. We're always looking for at least a 20% move in the underlying stock on those signals. And so check us out at wickedstocks.com and take advantage of our 5-day free trial. You'll see all of the above for no cost to you whatsoever. Let's take one more look at the downside. I will say once again that if we fall away today and close below 105.73, that is in itself a short play through the rest of the week. Within 1 to 2 days, I would expect 99 even. And by the end of next week, we could see 92.67. 92.67 is a decent classic channel bottom, able to contain weekly selling pressures when tested, and we can round up from here. And if settled below, would then signal within another week or two our long-awaited lower 80s, which remain anticipated holding below the low 110s, as I said a half a dozen times already in this video. So repetition is good, right? I'm going to leave it at that. Please click like, share, subscribe, and check out wickedstocks.com. I'll be back tomorrow, of course, with Friday's NVIDIA report. You have a great day.